Greetings everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the Vulp and why I feel that a lot of people have been giving it very unjustified hate, and while I will say that opinions are opinions, there is a lot of things that people look over when talking about the Vulp. So, to begin with, if you are someone that actively uses Instagram and you are within the community, you probably have seen a lot of people hating on the Vulp and like saying, oh, it's such a bad ballad song. It's, not built well. It's not worth it for the price, whatnot. And while sure, a lot of that is justified, and you can sit there and say, like, nowadays it isn't built to the best standards, especially considering the fact that you literally have stuff that's come out in recent times, like the Canyon, which I personally haven't flipped, but just going off of what I've heard from people within the community that I communicate with, they think that it's a fairly good flipper and one that is great for the price. What people look over is the fact that the Vulp isn't just a thing of, this is the sole beginner ballad song, that's it, this is the only one they have. No. This is what actually paved the way, in my opinion, for those ballad songs that are now a lot cheaper, made really well, and, come with stuff that is at an affordable price. I mean, if you look at it now, as far as I'm aware anyway, no company with ballad songs within the $50-$60 range, even upwards of into the $100 range, no company's really included anything where it's extra hardware, like thread locker, Loctite, and stuff like that. So for those beginners, it was very difficult, and being someone that only flipped the Vulp to begin with, it was amazing to see that there was a company, or at least there was a ballad song that was designed for getting people into the hobby. Now sure, you can sit there and question, or well, not question, you can sit there and argue the fact that it doesn't flip well. The Chaplains suck. Sure. The Chaplains may suck now, but that is going on the basis of if you're someone that is a advanced flipper. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, this, as I've said a lot of times probably in this video so far, is designed by Will and Brandon, as well as with Nabali's, to be something that can get people into the hobby. I mean, I have the box here. It doesn't have anything in it right now, but even just down to looking at the fact that it comes with stuff that tells you about the assembly, then you've also got talking about bushing systems, how to maintain your ballad song. You've got, oh, this one actually might be that's the one for the Vulp Pro. Here we go. I was wondering why it looked so big. Anyway, it's practically the same. You have the bushing system. It tells you what a bushing system is. It talks to you about maintaining your balisong, adding oil, cleaning, assembly, and then disassembly, and then obviously it has other stuff included with it. But yeah, like, that, just this piece of paper alone, it is a lot of help to new people. People that don't know about the hobby, people that don't know the things that you need to be doing to keep your balisongs actually in working condition. And it comes with what? It comes with lube, thread locker. You also get a Torx bit with it, which was amazing at the time because not many balisongs had, or well, no balisong had that sort of amazing amount of stuff in it to maintain the product for that sort of price range. I mean, now you can look at it and say, oh, well, every Nibali's product comes with it. Sure, but you have to remember that before the Vulp came out, there wasn't a balisong that did that. You had to go out, find something that you wanted, liked the look of, whatever. Whether it be, you know, you was looking through YouTube, finding suggestions, or, like I said, you just liked the look of it. You had to buy that. Then on top of that, go and buy lube, which there's a lot on the market now. You have Carbon Honey, you've got Super Lube, you've got KPL. Then, after buying that, you had to go out, buy a Torx bit that fit the balisong. Also, if you didn't have one, the screwdriver, if you was getting a Weeha stubby or something like that. Or even if you was just getting a full-size screwdriver, you'd have to go out and buy that. Then you had to buy the extra hardware. As a beginner, not everyone knows what these use. I mean, I learned what size washers these used months after I first got it. So people will sit there and they'll be like, oh, this is bad. It's 6061 aluminum. It doesn't hold up. It's not, like, in the long run, it's not meant to. At the end of the day, this is meant to be the thing that you get at the start. You learn some stuff, and then when you feel you're ready to, or you feel you've outgrown it, move on to something else. That's what this is meant for. It's not meant to be the be-all and end-all of balisongs. Like, you're not gonna get something that will flip perfectly to your preferences, or even just perfectly in general, from something at this price range. And you can sit there and argue, well, now there's X, Y, and Z product that's on the market that comes with similar stuff. But in all honesty, if it wasn't for the Vulp, I have a feeling like we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we do today. For instance, the Vulp Pro. This is literally the successor to the Vulp. And, oh, I got hair on my arm. And just other Nibali's products in general. Like, Nibali's was given a chance to shine with what they can do. And at the time, all they had was the Morse, which it was, what, an Amazon-only balisong? Now they have their own website where they're making and selling balisongs at affordable prices that flip amazingly well. I mean, like even down to the wing, which I've already sat there and said is a wacky design. I can flip this thing with ease because it's just so well made. And for the price, it holds up. The Vulp Pro, like I said, it's the successor to the Vulp, and it flips amazingly. Sure, you can sit there and argue, oh, but it's a product made by Will, Like, of course, people are gonna sit there and essentially suck up to him because he's the biggest known creator in the hobby. This is not what I'm this is not what I'm doing. I'm not gonna sit there and suck up to someone just because they have that popularity status within the hobby. I will give you my genuine opinions. Same with if a company was to send something out to me and ask me to review it, which I doubt would ever happen anytime soon, but I'll be honest about it at the end of the day. The Vulp, the best way that I can explain it, the Vulp walked so that a lot of things in the hobby could run. And with that analogy, I don't just sit there and mean like, oh, the Vulp is the masterpiece of the hobby, like everyone should worship it like the Grail it is. No. It, for what it is, and for the time that it came out, which was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I'm not sure. But for what it is, and what it was back then, it's still a good beginner balisong. Like, especially for the price, it flips fairly well. Sure, you're not going to chaplain on this thing the best, because your circles have to be slightly wider, but I mean, it still chaplains. I would rather flip this than have a balisong that doesn't flip at all, or a balisong that doesn't bind. It also, another point, this was made to combat a lot of the poorly made Amazon balisongs. The ones that were there for not the fact of the hobby, but there to make a quick buck at the end of the day. That's why the Vulp was made. And people still haven't taken that into consideration. Which is why I feel that it's getting a lot of hate when it doesn't necessarily need to. Because, I mean, what if it wasn't for... And no, I'm not sitting there and saying, oh, Will made Nibalis's career. Like, no. That's not what happened. Either way, I feel like Nibali's would have been a great company, and that they done an amazing job. I mean, the Morse was what inspired the collab between the two anyway. And yeah, they're still thriving. It doesn't mean that they was made on the success of the Vulp. No. They was a company that's based in China, which, no, me saying that isn't being like, oh, they're a Chinese-based company. Like, that doesn't bother me. I literally own the majority of my collection being Nibali's products. I fucking love the way they flip. And anyway, side tangent. But yeah, like, in a way, I know I keep repeating myself, but the Vulp introduced things into the hobby that many people wouldn't have got otherwise. And I feel like people overlook that. And while sure, it doesn't flip the best, I could still take this out and trash the fuck out of it. Because I'm not gonna sit there and be worried that I spent $100+ on this thing, and you know, it would be a waste of money because it's gonna get ruined by getting dropped on concrete. And I'll be honest, I'm someone that flipped the Vulp for a long time. I was flipping this thing the entire time that I was learning a lot of stuff. And even when I had my Squiddy Bee, I went back and forth. Have I gained any bad habits? No. Sure, I can't sit there and chaplain properly on this thing anymore, but it's not like my circles are massive. Like, I'm still flipping with everything else I own, and not being in that thing of, oh, well, I can't flip this because I have a bad habit of doing X, Y, and Z. The Vulp flip's amazing. Especially for the price point, for what it is, for what it was meant to be. Whatever you want to say. Sure, it's had issues. The pins fall out. You could probably see mine. The pins are a little bit ski-whiffed. Don't even ask me what a ski-whiff is. They're on the up and out sort of side. They're coming out. Whatever. Sure. The tolerance is, like, not the best. Even without me pushing on them the way that I did. But, like, it still flips. Does it have tap? Yeah. Probably because I just bent the fuck out of the handles. That play is getting worse, I will say. But yeah, this, I'm not afraid to go out with this and flip it up and it be dropped, and for me to end up ruining it or damaging it in any way. Like, this was my first ballad song that I ever flipped. I still love it. Is it the best thing in my collection? No. Am I still rambling and it's probably been 20 minutes? Yes. Oh well. That is a little rant about the Vulp. The Vulp. If you enjoyed and you made it to the end, like and subscribe, because it only gets worse from here. You're going to be hearing me ramble a lot and talk about things. Yeah, like, subscribe, go follow me on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description. And yeah, that's about it. See you.